Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Contact here out of turn 4.
Tries to slam the door, but they sends him right back up the racetrack.
Big moment for Boney between him and Dexter. It's Ryan Kuhn yet again out of turn number 4. He's going to win for a second time in the Misfit Touring Series. And it's all about Christian Peterson out front. 9 top 5s, 9 top 10s, 4 times he's finished runner-up. But tonight, it's the first time win here in the Touring Series.
Christian Peterson, after 17 races, finally gets it done.
Well, we've done dual race number 1. It's time to do number 2. We're going to dictate the start for the MRL 500 live here tonight from Daytona. It's dual race number 2 presented by RaceMRL.com in partnership with PGR Esports. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Connor Horn. Connor, we saw a lot of action in dual race number 1. I think we're about to see more of the same for 40 laps.
We've always kind of known while growing up watching the actual duels in the real world Daytona 500 that usually the first duel would be the crazy one most of the time, and the second duel would sometimes be the calm one for the most part, but who knows what we'll see. I think this race might even be crazier. We have more visibility, maybe that changes things. The track might heat up a little bit more, but probably not as much, but the goal is still the same. Top 20 advance. If you're not 20th or better, you're done for the weekend.
Well, you were right on that track temperature. It was 69 degrees. It's about 2 degrees warmer, but still very calm and cool. I don't think we're going to see that from these drivers. A lot of drivers out here want to win this, but top 20 advanced Daytona International, 2.5 miles, 31 degrees of banking. We've already talked about it here in dual race number 1, but we welcome you back for another great broadcast here on V-Speed. We're going to take a look at your starting lineup with Ethan Eckert and David Finnegan going to start on the top spot. You have Nathan Harper, Trevor Osmernoth going to start in row number 2. Then there's Matthew Baker, Kyler Wynn, row number 3. Jacob Dudai and Josh. I'm having a little bit of problems here reading this. I'm going to try to put it on full screen. Nelm's going to start in the 4th row. Charlie Morgan and Stephen Miles going to start row number 5 for the top 10.
And Michael Sturgill, we've seen him. He's always out trying to win the money. He'll try to race his way in tonight. He starts 11th. Jake Sylvia will start 12th. Mark Person in 13th. Austin Norris 14th. Chris Schubert rounding out the top 15, really the top half of the field. Travis Owens will start 16th. James Boring will start the 17th position. 18th will be Scott Warren in the 78. And Aaron Brown, 19th in his proximity racing number 8 or 18. And Tom Quiring in the 20th position, the 46 car.
Got a few other cars back here with Aaron Johnson, RJ Williams, Hudson Geiger, Andrew Paleshi, Stephen Hassett, Stephen Hassett, I'm not sure on the PH there, Dustin Shepard, Joe Canellis, Sam Taylor, and AJ Maglio. Maglio starting in the back of this field as we get set to go green. Dual race number 2 underway for the MRL 500.
Oh, already got a car in the apron. They saved it way to the bottom. I think it was Schubert down there who got kind of slapped down to the apron.
Taylor in the background and trying to catch up to it here, but you fall all the way back. There's Schubert, Chris Schubert at the tail end losing this draft and coming by to lead lap number 1. It's Flanagan.
And Kyler Wynn, I would not be surprised if he's the most aggressive one. They're wrecking already. It's James Waring in it, and I believe Scott Warren. Oh, look out.
That was an aggressive elevator move there from the outside to the bottom, and the 13 gets involved.
He got a lot of front end damage. That thing's crumpled up. Yeah, maybe it is going to be the crazy one. We went half the race without a yellow, and that one, you did get 2.5 miles in. See what happened here. He's up there.
That was an elevator move.
Someone came off. Someone was 3 wide and didn't know it. Like Austin Nelms, or excuse me, not Austin Nelms, Josh Nelms in the 0-1. See, he goes 3 wide there, and then he tries to come down. I'm not sure why he came down like that in a 3 wide situation. Just didn't know he was 3 wide, I guess. But thankfully, once again, we've seen a few incidents already in both these duels where it looks like it should be a bigger crash, and somehow it isn't. It's a big hit for the 13, though.
That's one way to start it off here in dual race number 2. Talked about a few of these drivers with David Flanagan, Kyler Wynn. Notorious names here. Got Eckert, Harper, Baker. Matthew Baker, one of the few drivers that we got in here on the driver cameras. Let's take a look on board with him. There's a look at the number 23. And we'll periodically be bringing those up. Texting and driving, though. Did you see that?
It's easier to do on a closed course. Casey Cahan. I guess that's got to be sheet metal. Weirdly doesn't look like sheet metal, but I don't know what else it would be.
Flanagan holds the top spot here. And down 2 positions for Eckert, who started on the pole here. How quickly it can happen at Daytona. But the AutoZone number 12 going to look to start on the inside just behind Flanagan.
Like Aaron Brown's going to pit. He was 14th. See some people maybe topping off on fuel just in case. And that seems to be the case for Aaron Brown at least. He did not have damage. Scott Warren, who pit, did have damage, as well as, who else pit? Sam Taylor's in. James Warren, who obviously got a big piece that's in. Also, Chris Schubert, who we saw have that crazy slide down the backstretch and was able to hang on to it. He pit. And Josh Nelms as well, who got the EOL for causing the caution. Also has a front end, which is damaged with the splitter kind of pushed up.
Shout out in the chat. Thank you, Baker's mom. Here are the links and keeping us relevant here on V-Speed, justifying what we do. We've been at it for 5 years. Connor, it seems like forever.
Need someone to keep us relevant.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter what we do. What matters is what they do on this racetrack. And here tonight, this dictates the starting order for the MRL 500, the inside and outside row. Now, there was some controversy in dual race number 1 and an elimination of a driver. You have the name, but don't be surprised if you find out maybe somebody you thought made the top 20 is no longer in it. But what I can confirm is that the 99 car has made the main show for Sunday's race at 1 p.m. So there you go. And there was also a late entry here with the 03. Angelio making it in, was supposed to be in dual race number 1, started at the tail end in 29th position to begin this race, has worked his way up to 22nd. Still not above that cutoff mark, top 20 advance for these dual races. The 2 spots to go. It's Stephen Hassett in the 91. That's on that cutoff mark. 1/2000th of a second at the finish there between Ball and the 07 there to come across the line just a moment ago. We had different telemetry. I was talking to Kyle Adams. He said it was 1/1000th. I argued that it was 2, but basically,
it's somewhere.
It was close. I mean, as close as you can get. And we had to go back and watch it a couple times to really decide that win. I thought the 1 had passed, but the 07 held on.
07 held on, like we mentioned. I mean, timing the side draft and, kind of forming yourself and putting yourself in the right spot for the exit of turn 4 is so important. Had Jack Mace not let Ball, if he let Ball get to his outside out of turn number 4, I don't know if Mace wins that race, because the side draft on the right side of the car in the next gen so much stronger than what it is on the left side. He forced the 1 car to go to the inside, which meant Mace could let him by, but he'd have the side draft to the line when it mattered. He timed it absolutely perfectly. It was very close, but he timed it perfectly. And one theme that I think is going to hold strong is that the guys who have won the 500-mile races before are usually pretty good at this thing. Jack Mace won the FTF 500 a few years ago. Kyler Wynn, he starts second. He won the Podium 500 the same year, 2024. And one thing about Kyler Wynn, he's either winning the race or he's going to end up out of the track upside down. That's just how Kyler Wynn is, and he's going to be tough to beat. He's going to be very aggressive in the 500-mile race as well as in this one right now.
Getting ready to dictate that and decide our starting lineup as we try again for the start of dual race number 2. Lap number 6, back underway into the restart zone. Green flag is out. MRL 500 dual race number 2. A little bit different here. Jump on the outside. The 11 of Flanagan, labeled as the 31, taking over the top spot by about 4 or 5 car lengths. We were watching in practice that 9 car who just dove with Miles to the inside during practice had a lot of problems trying to keep that car stable during draft as we get a car shuffled out. A bad shove from the 69 machine.
Goodness, Matthew Baker made such an aggressive move to the middle in front of Jake Sylvia. It almost caused a crash, as I kind of expected. Well, I don't know what I expected, honestly. Thought you might have a calm duel, just not really the case. Everyone's kind of jumping all over the place already, trying to get in line, and the checkups are big.
Middle line here through 1 and 2. Lap number 7, Flanagan holding the lead. Pushing here about 3 rows deep with the 4 of Harper.
That inside line pushing pretty hard with Dadai and Morgan kind of pushing, but they're not exactly formed up enough to have enough of a run. The middle line very formed up, bumper to bumper, about 4 cars deep. Now they kind of get a little bit of separation. Maybe that gives the inside a chance to gain, but not quite the case. That middle line surging.
Holding it up top here. About 8 cars clear. Back to 9th now. Charlie Morgan side by side in the 69 with Jake Sylvia. And a dive down to the inside from Flanagan to help that 12 of Eckert breathe.
Michael Sturgill, third car on the inside, trying to help make the pushes work. You can kind of see the inside line starting to inch back up to the front as that middle line kind of got less formed up. But those front four, you know, from Flanagan back to, I believe, Stephen Miles, so really those five doing a great job staying bumper to bumper, making this work. But here comes that surge from the inside.
They're going to get it going to the top 5. The 9 has broken to the 5th position.
You don't think they're pushing hard. I mean, Flanagan's rear bumper's already damaged from the pushes he's been getting from that 12 car.
Pushed it in.
Not usually great. I mean, next-gen car with rear end damage is usually pretty sensitive from what I remember, so we'll see if that ends up hurting Flanagan at some point, but he's able to maintain pace right now.
Inching their way closer now up to the 3rd spot. The 69 doing a fantastic job. Morgan continuing to push the 9 of Miles. Got him close there, but got hot. Falls back to 7th.
Those guys on the middle are just doing such a great job. The inside line's making all their ground up in the corners, but everyone on that middle line, they're kind of laying off the bumpers in the corners so they have the temps to push down these long straightaways. They're timing it perfectly right now.
You can see the 12 of Eckert breathing there, the 31, the 11 on your timing and scoring, giving that air into the entry of the corner. It's just enough to keep and maintain that temperature below 265. And you can see it there again through 3 and 4. The 92, or 82 rather, of Kyler Wynn going to keep that outside going. The 9 car back up to the 5th spot. Here's a good move from the inside again.
And once again, but you can see them starting to lay back. You see the 69 Charlie Morgan has to lift because he's getting too hot when he's pushing. All that momentum, all that ground they gain, they're just, you know, the real issue is no one's jumping down to the inside. So it's constantly Charlie Morgan having to push Jacob Dadai up to the front. He's always been the pusher, so it's just not going to work the way they're doing it right now. This is the most ground they've made up on a straightaway, though. Here we go.
There's the move to the inside for the 12. Eckert going to take the lead.
See if he ends up going to the middle. I thought he would do that. It was a little squirrely, though, getting back up to the middle. And there's a little contact for the race lead. Dadai almost came up into Ethan Eckert there. It's going to be almost dead even for leading that lap, but it goes to Eckert, and there goes that middle line surging again. That's exactly what they wanted, really, because now it lets Flanagan run his temps up, and Ethan Eckert gets a chance to lead.
And if you're 7 or 8 rows deep in this pack right now, in this traffic jam, watching the 77 of Mark Pearson work back here in 10th position, it's nowhere to go. You just gotta follow suit. Whatever those guys do, you gotta move for the checkups. You gotta lift with the PGR 500, February 8th. All over the hood of that number 77.
And like you said, really nowhere to go if you don't have the help to get to the 3rd lane. And that 3rd lane, it's just hard to get going because if you get to the 3rd lane, you side draft the driver on your inside, ends up pulling them back, ends up slowing you down, and you end up maybe losing a draft if that ends up happening. So getting that 3rd lane to work is really difficult. You really have to wait for there to be such big checkups in the bottom 2 lanes that the outside lane is the only viable option. We just haven't seen that yet.
2x2 at 197, 98, 99. Man. Move to the outside. 3rd lane developing.
Yeah, right there. There's those checkups happened, and drivers ended up taking it. Aaron Brown almost made contact with someone, almost causing an incident. Aaron Johnson's up there. Travis Owens is pushing Jake Sylvia, who was the first one to make that move to the 3rd lane.
Aaron E. Johnson. Haven't heard that name in a long time. But shout out back to the days of Cora and 2013. It's kind of nostalgic for me, Connor.
See if you still got it. That outside lane, 3rd lane's got a pretty good charge off of turn number 2. Problem is, as here goes Eckert to block it, that's actually the best thing that could have happened for the 3rd lane because Flanagan was going to end up having bad temps. So is Travis Owens. It's really nowhere to cool your stuff down when it's 3x3 like this, so you got to be very careful.
That will hang over the lead for a moment to the 9 car.
Wow.
Who's going to get it for the top spot? Jake Sylvia.
Oh man, Owens is all over his rear bumper, getting him sideways. I think they were just trying to settle into the middle lane, but they were having a tough time doing it.
Oh, out of the way.
There it is. It's a bump and run at 190. Another big door slam from Charlie Morgan, or from Travis Owens to Charlie Morgan. This is crazy.
15 laps, not even past halfway. Jake Sylvia on the outside by 1,000th of a second. Now Dudai is going to take the top spot.
Oh. And Travis Owens, I'm not sure if he has a problem, but he's really all over the place, not able to hold a pretty wheel right now, and it's caused the third lane to completely dissolve. He's settled in, but he has been kind of weaving all over the place the past lap or two.
Pretty wheel is what it takes to get around this place. You got to hold your line and stay in the middle, especially when you're 3 wide. As the middle lane migrates towards that white line, they're going to get a big run on the outside. Jake Sylvia back to the top spot again. Big move, wrecked. Sturgill sideways.
Oh, and he got pile drove. Nathan Harper's around. Joe Carnelis got a big piece of that. That's going to be race-ending damage for him. Kyler Wynn was in that. He spun, but I don't see much damage to the 82.
Oh, maybe now?
He just got into the Aswarnarth. Came up into him, but still no damage. I think that was what I was talking about with Travis Owens. You're right there. He just comes up and kind of causes all that. Just was not able to hold a lane for whatever reason. Sturgill would have been fine, but sometimes you just can't avoid something. And if he got hit in the door, he might be able to be okay. But if it was in a suspension, it'd be an issue. Oh yeah, I mean there's not much. I think that was the one of Joe Canelis. I think he got the biggest piece of that. Ethan Ecker got to be outside, and Owens just put him in the wall and then came down on Sturgill and kicked all of this off. And, you know, sometimes, like we were talking about in Duel 1, when someone side drafts you, sometimes it, for some reason, kind of sucks you up to that car and makes it very difficult to stay off that car on your right rear side drafting you. But to me, it just looked like Owens just wasn't quite holding the line and came up, put the 12 in the wall. And if he had room to his inside, they probably save it, but they were 3 wide at that point. Michael Sturgill, just nothing he could do.
46 of you out there in the chat. If you have a favorite driver, go ahead and shout them out. Pick your favorite driver or who you think is going to win this race in the dual race number 2, dictating the outside starting spots for the MRL 500. But we have a moment here with the Pace truck still out on the racetrack, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, but there's a look at your lineup for dual race number 2. We're going to take a quick break here on V-Speed. Back with more coverage in racemrl.com right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Welcome back here to our coverage of the MRL 500 dual race number 2. Jake Sylvia on the top spot. He'll restart in the 118 on the inside, labeled as the 7 on your timing and scoring. Still a lot to be decided here, as we're not quite at the halfway mark, but we're approaching it in just a couple laps. Pace truck's going to pull off as we get set to go back green for the third time this evening. An incident on the backstretch bringing out our second caution. Here we go with our 5th lead change of the night. Sylvia holding it down on the inside. Aaron E. Johnson in the 78 on the high line.
No surprise, Kyler Wynn's the first driver to try to get that third lane going, and no doubt he'll have a few drivers try to jump up there and help. Mark Person tried to help him, but couldn't quite get up there, but he'll have drivers get in front of him. There goes Matthew Baker, got in front of him, but we'll see what type of ground they can make up with the 3 of them up there. Nope, car's on the wall.
CO3, that was another car. I think you were talking about something different there.
Yeah, Mark Person hit the wall in the background, and then Maglio kind of got hit in the right rear by Matthew Baker. He actually hit the wall pretty hard, but doesn't seem like there was much damage done to that Mustang.
Man, they keep creeping, though, in the middle there. That was close.
Yeah, they checked up real bad in the middle, and Kyler Wynn's going to take advantage of that, as they'll have a big run that third lane because of that, and they're already within the top 10. Big move of a lead. There goes Dadai in that Napa car going for the lead, but Sylvia goes with Aaron Johnson.
And the 12 going to move maybe to the outside. That's a push from the 4th row. Very aggressive here from Wynn.
But he got to the middle. He's pretty much already brought the ground back that he made up. Ethan Eckert made a huge aggressive move to get to the middle, pushed by Kyler Wynn. That's going to end up working, and Sylvia and Johnson are going to drop.
Johnson on the outside. Sylvia losing ground back to about the 8th, 9th position. Third lane falling apart here as Dudai takes over the top spot for the moment. Aaron Brown and the number 8 going to get to the high line. A little bit of a bad push. The 12 of Eckert with a shove from, that's Kyler Wynn again.
That
Just
did
glued
not
to the
take
12.
long. That's unbelievable. Kyler Wynn literally restarted in about the 19th position. It took him maybe a lap and a half, 2.5 laps to get up into the top 2.
And that's how quickly it happens here at Daytona, as the 12 will get his 3rd lap led. Ethan Eckert on the top spot, holding it up here.
Goes Hudson Geiger. We haven't really talked about him a lot. Neither Maglio as well, but they've gotten up to the front top 5. But Maglio didn't go with Geiger. He's going to have to get a push from the 18. He tried to go to the middle almost, it looked like, but the gap just wasn't there.
Riding on board here with Aaron Brown. On the inside line, second car giving a push.
And now they're pretty formed up on the inside. You'll see him surge back. Looked like Wynn thought about getting to the bottom. Eckert's going to end up blocking it. That gives Kyler Wynn a chance to keep the temps cool, but the 12 got booted back up the track by Geiger.
Continuing the onboard. It almost worked, but the 12 comes down, stops the inside line.
They really check things up. I mean, those slam drafts happen so easily when someone blocks a lane that has a huge run like that. You're going to see that very often in the 500-mile race tomorrow as well.
This time, the 12's not going to get down there in time, but the 82 is going to keep him up there. 3rd lane pushing.
Probably could have come to the bottom, but chose not to. Just wanted to stay with Kyler Wynn and keep the 82 on his bumper, but that inside line got a good charge. Aaron Brown's trying to get clear so he can get back in front of the 12, and he's able to do it.
And checking in with the cutoff mark, Michael Sturgill, the last car in this cutoff. Asmernoth also moving back and forth for the 19th to 20th position, back and forth. Remember, the 3 of Sturgill caught up in that incident just a moment ago. Trying to find his way. It is a hornet's nest from about 15th on back.
And these cars are pretty forgiving, so almost everyone in that crash was able to repair their damage. Only driver out of this race was the 1 car of Joe Canellis. So we still have 28 drivers vying for 20 spots.
Sturgill going to fall back to 20th. Aaron Johnson, who was up towards the front a moment ago in the 78, is now on that cutoff mark.
You see that tandem working again. Every time those lanes get 3x3 and side drafting each other, crash. Aaron Brown got turned by Eckert, and now it's going to stack everything up. How do they get out of this? Somehow they have. RJ Williams got to the lead through all that, but Aaron Brown tried to block a move from Ethan Eckert, and they came together. And there's a lot of damage on Aaron Brown, although he's going to go back to the lead. Here goes Kyler Wynn through wide.
77 in the outside, going to drop to the bottom. Kyler Wynn going to give the shove. The 12 of Eckert sideways for the 18. They're going to save it again. 5 wide. There's a wreck.
RJ Williams in that one. Chris Schubert, Tom Quiring, Michael Sturgill's in it again. Stephen Hassett, that was a huge one, and Eckert is done. They got away with it in the front stretch, but they couldn't get away with that time. Eckert is getting pushed. It got hit the left rear of the 18, and it just started all this. RJ Williams got a big piece of that. That was a bigger one than the last. And you could see the 12. He alt F forward. That right front was completely broken. You could see that coming, though. It just stacked up everything so much into turn number 1 when they did save it. And they were still pushing probably too hard. There's not much Ethan Eckert could do in the middle of 3 and 4, though. He was getting shoved by, I think, Asmernoth into that. This is where it all starts. Right there, these two get tandemed out. Eckert's going to go to the outside to try to get those outside. Aaron Brown blocks it late, puts him in the wall. RJ Williams actually made a pass below a double yellow, but I would say that was avoiding an accident. Somehow they don't wreck, and everyone checks up in time to keep it straight.
And this is next turn where it goes wrong.
See Wynn make that move just above the line to lead that inside line. And right here, Aaron Brown, you can see the 89 pushing the 12 right into the 18. There's nothing that 12 could really do. He was kind of along for the ride, hoping it wouldn't turn the 18. But if he lifts, he ends up getting turned. Really no-win situation for Eckert.
That's a great question in the chat just now. Because they want to win.
Kyler Wood came over there saying, telling Aaron Brown he can't chop block like that. RJ Williams just came out of the pits. That right front's done, but he's going to run it as long as he can. It's going to take RJ Williams out of this race. Ethan Eckert's now out of this race. A lot more cars repairing a lot more damage. Charlie Morgan's on pit road. Steven Miles. Sturgill in pit lane again, but it looks like he'll fully repair his car again. James Waring still repairing damage from the first yellow. And Aaron Brown, who's been pretty fast tonight, has a lot of front-end damage.
That puts Mark Person in the top spot. Kyler Wynn going to restart in second. Hudson Geiger, Jacob Dadai, and Asmernoth going to start in fifth. How about this? AJ Maglio is up to the top 10 in sixth spot. Started at the tail end of this field all the way back in 29th. Was a late entry, was supposed to be in dual race number 1. We had problems, a technicality with the first setup in dual race number 1. The grid was not set properly, so MRL made sure that AJ could make it into dual race number 2, and I feel like he's glad that that happened because he is definitely well above that cutoff line.
Definitely generous. They didn't have to do that for him, but they ended up doing it. And he survived enough. There is some right front damage he won't pit for, so that is going to hurt him a little bit. But, yeah, from 29th to 6th, I think he'll take that, but nowhere close to done. We have about a 25-mile sprint to the finish, or maybe a mini marathon, whatever you want to call it. We'll have 25 miles. Or 27 and a half miles. We'll have 11 laps to maybe decide this one. Do we make it? Not fully confident that they will, but the attrition rate, more wrecks there are, the attrition and drivers with damage are going to pick up. You know, like we mentioned, we have some drivers who have stayed out with damage, like the 0-3 of Maglio. Scott Warren has a pretty dinged up front end in 8th position. And then you got Matthew Baker with slight front end damage, and everyone's still kind of pitting every other lap under this yellow, trying to repair their damage. 3-car Sturgill looks good. Warren actually looks like he got his car fully repaired now. Aaron Brown's going to be struggling with all that front-end damage for himself, though.
Getting caught back up to the tail end of this field on the backstretch with Person and the PGR 500 all over the hood of this machine, trying to make it into the MRL 500 for Sunday at 1 p.m. You can hit that subscribe button and it will give you an alert, a notification on your smart device. You'll know every time V-Speed goes live. And flag-to-flag coverage of the entire event from here on. Dual racing all the way to Sunday in the main event. We also have MRL in the Touring Series. Misfits Racing League. Race number 10 at Irwindale. Catch that here at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on V-Speed. SF23, another win for Fries Larson. He's dominant on the broadcasted races. I believe that's number 4. The victory lane. Person on the loud pedal, back underway. Restart number 4.
He's
Been a
kind
little
of
bit more chaotic here.
Yeah, he kind of saw Kyler Wynn do a smart thing. He kind of checked up so he could get this big run on Geiger and Person, who got themselves a little too far out. He's going to end up pushing these two for now, but I thought that was pretty smart of him to do that. But he did not go to the bottom. Dadai ended up doing it himself, and now there goes Geiger to the inside.
Tiger going to take over the top spot, but they have a pretty big gap back to the 89 machine of Astronaut. Closes up quickly coming out of turn 4, but it's not enough. The 77 gets a surge back. It's about 0.05 of a second.
First gonna end up leading that middle line. We'll see who can get the third lane going first. It looks like Matthew Baker and Jake Sylvia trying to get it going, but no momentum quite yet as we're 2 by 2 at the front. Almost contact for the race lead.
3 wide, right around the middle of the pack. Johnson there in the bottom line. We saw the 78 leading and had Jake Sylvia up front. Speaking of Jake Sylvia, back in 17th position. The 3 of Michael Sturgill.
Whoa,
Just about.
checkups.
That's a big one.
There was a big checkup in the middle. Imagilo almost got involved in the incident. He did a good job checking up, but that really strung the front third of this mid-pack, this lead pack, away from the rest of everyone. It's going to let these 3 really get a big run in the middle.
We haven't seen any breakaways, though. Such short racing, and with the cautions grouping this field back up time and time again, it's hard to get away. Talked about the fuel numbers. 4 car around in the background. Are they going to save it? Caution's out.
Scott Warren, Josh Nelms. Another incident that should have been bigger, somehow wasn't. But it looks like Matthew Baker's got pretty big damage out of it. Quite see.
Yeah.
I don't know if the 5 has the suspensions look like they're turning, so I don't know what the damage is, but just looked like maybe stack ups caused this one. Can't quite see. Yeah, stack up right in the middle, right there. Looked like whoever the blue car was tried to check up and tried to maybe back out of all that and just couldn't quite do it. I think it's Scott Warren who that was. I think it was Scott Warren. It's like he saw Maglio trying to check up in the middle, and he thought about 4 wide, but then he got kind of caught out here. And when he checked up, the 4 couldn't check up for him. I see the 5, not the 5, whoever that is. Matthew Baker, he is meatballed, so he is likely done for the race. I think he guaranteed is. I'm not sure what the damage is, though, because the suspension looks like they're rolling. It's something on the left side that's going to take him out, though. Could be the right front, because the right front's very bent. So it could just be the right front being bent, making the left side drag. But either way, that'll probably be his race done. James Waring also has a meatball, so likely his race over as well. So much more than dual. Yeah, I mean, if you have a meatball, you might as well, but it's not gonna matter. The attrition rate, I think, a little bit higher in this duel for sure.
So you thought it was going to be calmer here in dual race number 2? Well,
maybe.
we're breaking that trend.
Thought it might be. I was wrong. Hand up.
Well, you know, I've been wrong before. I spelled duel wrong before we put the broadcast up. So.
Well, no, your argument was that you meant the different meaning.
Yeah. There's 2 versions of the word duel. Mm-hmm. There's the A and there's the E. This is Duel 2 and a part 2, which would be D-U-A-L. But if it's a fight, got an E in it.
We technically have duels. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, duel to duel. Die on the front row. Gonna restart here. That 3 times fast. Dudai and the Duel's a duel number 2.
No, it's not part of my contract.
I'm
Don't
gonna
know how
reset
this
here
is
with
gonna sort out.
Azernoth, Person, Win. Got Johnson back up here near the top 5. Tim Taylor.
Haven't talked about him much. He's up to 6th.
Yeah.
He was 3rd in line. I could hear in the race chat, he was not on the bumper of Kyler Wynn, and Wynn was wondering why he wasn't. And it might be inexperience from Sam Taylor, possibly, because, you know, like we've been talking about with this package, you kind of need to be bumper to bumper 3 to 5 cars deep. So that's why Wynn was probably complaining why he wasn't pushing him, because that middle line just didn't have momentum because of that. But either way, Sam Taylor's been able to get up here. It's taken him 30 laps to get into the top 10, but he's here, and you know, more attrition we have, the more that cut line becomes kind of tougher to get for some of those drivers. There's going to be a lot more damaged cars rolling around. You got Aaron Brown, Nathan Harper, big damage. You got Austin Norris, who's got a little bit of damage, but he should be okay. But those guys are about 24th to 26th, so really only have about 25, 26 cars that are going to be rolling at this point.
Yeah, James Waring just left the session as well, behind the wall.
Yeah, so that's going to be Waring out. Matthew Baker's out of the race as well. So that would leave, I believe, 24 cars rolling at this point. So really only 4 drivers who would miss the field running on track.
But we're doubled back up for another restart. Again, this will be the 5th time today that the iRacing Pace Truck has had to pull off. And we're going to have 5 laps to go. If you thought it was aggressive before, it's about to get even more intense. With the 9 on the top spot, Dudai, Azernoth, Person, Wynn, Taylor, the top 5, Johnson, Geiger, Flanagan, Schubert, and Miles, the top 10. RaceMRL.com for everything short track and the MRL 500. Of course, you can check out the prelims and great broadcasting. Fantastic coverage there for heat race number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The last chance qualifiers that happened earlier today. Hit the subscribe button here on V-Speed for the MRL 500 at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Die on the loud pedal, back underway, 5 to go from Daytona.
Middle line really just not going. Azernoth just is not getting up the speed, and that inside line's going to have a huge...
Inside's going to break away. 31 moves to the outside. Here comes the 77. Person moves up the racetrack. Going to snag it away from Dudai on the backstretch.
And now that middle line finally got going. Big run, big checkup, huge slam draft there. Azernoth 3rd. Wynn's going to go to the bottom, try to get that 3rd position away, but he doesn't really have any help for this.
No, he does not, but he does have momentum. He's going to get up to around the 3rd position, just shy of 2nd. 82 needs the 9 to get up on the bumper.
Ooh, 89 almost got turned. Now Wynn's going to get that shove, but he's only side by side for the 4th position. 10 miles to decide it, and Wynn, spin at the back. Aaron Brown, Josh Nelms.
And Brown's around. That's going to bring out a green-white checkered.
And that was right at the transfer spot. Aaron Brown crossed the line in 20th. And this, like, 89 or Dustin Shepard maybe came up a little bit. Brown also came down. By side, inside car kind of came up.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nelms took a hard hit. He might end up getting the biggest damage of that, and he does have a meatball, so it's going to be another driver out of this race.
Nelms is just sitting back here. He's not trying to be a part of any of this. Somehow it ends up in his lap.
Really know where he could go, hitting the worst spot. The 18 hit right where his left front suspension was, and it broke it immediately. You could see with that left front tire not rolling. could not have gotten hit at a worse spot, and unfortunately his try to make the MRL 500 is done. And now we're down to 23.
Hey, if you eliminate 4 more cars, 3 more cars,
And really, the only guys outside the cut line are guys who have some damage. I mean, Aaron Brown, Dustin Shepard, they're on the outside looking in. They have big damage. Stephen Hassett, he's got some damage, but not huge damage. But Nathan Harper, he's 18th inside the cut line. He's got damage. But this puts us with a 2-lap shootout now. So those guys with damage, they're gonna have to try hard. Yeah, it's about all you can do.
yeah, avoid the crash, and I think you're good. We know it's going to happen. I mean, it's green, white, checkered time. Attempt number 1 here. For those of you that don't know how this works, we'll rack this field back up with 3 laps to go. We'll take the green flag with 2 laps to go. Drivers will race back around. If there is not another incident that brings out a caution before the white flag comes out, the race will be official. We'll race it back to the line to the checkered, and that will be your top 20. If there is a caution before we make it back to the white flag, we will rack these drivers up and do it again. 3 laps to go. We'll tack on a couple extra laps here, but this is green, white, checkered attempt number 1. You can already see it here. So lights are going to stay on the pace truck. We'll go to 4 to go. Now to 3, overtime for dual race number 2. It's another opportunity to thank the sponsors here in RaceMRL.com, 918 Designs, Corey Bodie Wraps, Admin Box. They'll have Chassis Company that recently joined just at the last minute. We'll get a word from them and be back here on V-Speed in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to our coverage. Dual race number 2 into overtime. We get set to go back green in just a moment. Cars coming into 3 and 4 as the pace truck will pull off, and it's Person on the top spot with David Flanagan, Trevor Asmernoff, Kyler Wynn, and Sam Taylor for dual race number 2, dictating the outside road top 20 advance. 23 cars still on the racetrack with Aaron Brown at the tail end in 23rd. Matthew Baker, Josh Nelms, James Waring, RJ Williams, Ethan Eckert, and Joe Canellis are out of the event. As we get set to go back green, Connor Horn, Bradley Cooper in the V-Speed booth. Flag-to-flag coverage of the MRL 500 Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Back underway for what could be the final restart of the night.
Top 2 got away. Person, Asranoff got away pretty well, got clear to the middle. Flanagan's going to have a push from Kyler Wynn.
Big shove here with 2 to go. Person's going to hold the top spot. Inside lines getting it going. 88 down low.
Not quite enough momentum from that bottom line. Kyler Wynn could go if he wants to, but he might not have the help right now. As he's going to go to the bottom, he's got help from Dadai.
Dadai, the car that he left out to dry earlier in this race, the 82 dives it down low. He's going to take over the top spot by 3/400ths of a second. He'll take the white flag 2.5 miles for dual race number 2.
You're all over the place at the back fighting for 20th position. Wynn's going to go up to block the middle of the racetrack, got in front of Mark Person, and now he can kind of dictate which line he's going to have to block to get this race victory. As the inside line not really formed up, the 88 on the inside not really pushing. Is going to let the 77 get clear that inside line, though, and he has a move if he wants it.
Down the back stretch, Wynn with the race lead by 600ths of a second. Person getting the shove, giving the shove rather. The 94 Dadai not going to be able to get there. I think the 82, and there's a move from the 77. He will get there. The outside falls back, but there's the side draft. Will we see a tag on the inside door? We will not. Person is going to win dual race number 2 for the MRL. He'll start on the front row of the MRL 500.
And Dustin Shepard made it in by 6/1000ths of a second in 20th position. Excuse me, no. It was Travis Owens who made it in by 700ths of a second over Stephen Hassett. Travis Owens got the final spot. I thought Kyler Wynn had it. I thought he had the push on the outside, but it just didn't form.
How about Aaron Brown with all that damage making it?
Wow. He was just in the right spot in that 20th position.
And it was the move there by Person to make it to the inside. Let's back this up even further.
I
It's on the outside.
Yeah, I thought Kyler Wynn was in the right spot, honestly.
Yeah, I thought he would pull the side draft like we saw in Duel 1.
But he just didn't have enough of a push to make it work, and the inside lane was bumper to bumper, so that side draft just really didn't do anything. He goes to the outside to kind of take that run from the middle, and I thought this was going to be the right decision, and it almost looked like down the back straightaway, Mark Person was getting such a shove from Asranoff. It almost looked like Kyler Wynn was kind of lagging back a little bit, trying to not be 100% throttle, trying to make sure that third car in line didn't get clear, and he ended up succeeding in doing that, but Mark Person was still clear. I don't think Wynn probably did expect the 77 to make that move to the inside. Probably didn't expect it as late as he did, but he probably figured he could side draft him with a line right here, but the inside line was so formed up that it just had no effect.
Watch how late the 77 of Person comes down. Does this look clear?
Clear enough. He had the gap, and like I said, I think Wynn probably figures he could side draft him enough, but he did. That's how strong the push was from the inside. It just couldn't do anything, and the outside line just kind of died.
And then Calamity again.
And Mark Person comes out on top of it.
Final race results up on your screen as we watch the 77 of Mark Person get the win here in dual race number 2. Kyler win by 0.03 of a second roughly here as we round up. Jacob Dudai will be your top 3. Trevor Asmanoff, Sam Taylor, David Flanagan, Stephen Miles, Hudson Geiger, Aaron Johnson, and Andrew Pileshi rounding out your top 10.
Crazy finish. Jake Sylvia ends up advancing. He finishes 11th. Chris Schubert will finish in the 12th position. Scott Warren 13th. Tom Queer 14th position. Michael Sturgill 15th. So he ends up advancing after all the chaos he was involved in, as does Aaron Brown. He was destroyed, but he was able to get up into the top 20. 16th for him. Dustin Shepard 17th. AJ Maglio in the 18th position. Just barely made it, as did Nathan Harper. And Travis Owens was in the right place, right time. He had some issues, but he ends up 20th and he gets in.
MRL 500 actually had a little bit of a mic issue there, so we went through the final race, and you know what? I think that's good enough. Whatever technical issues we had here tonight, we're going to put it behind us as we watch the 77 burn it down here on the front stretch. World Center of Racing, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the final event, the main, the feature, whatever you want to call it. The money on the line, the MRL 500 coming up here. Sunday. You got to be there. Hit subscribe on VSpeed. Connor, I know that this has been a chaotic day. Any final thoughts here for wrapping up these final two dual races?
I'm not sure how we're going to have 40 cars make it the 500 miles with the racing we saw, how frantic it was. I mean, the bump drafting was crazy. The runs were big. The blocks were probably even crazier in the second duel. And somehow everyone's going to have to tone it down for 500 miles, 200 laps, and just be calm for at least 3/4 of the race to make it to the end to have a chance to win. That might be a tall task for a lot of drivers. And, you know, the drivers that we saw finish at the front of the duels, they're probably going to be the same ones that you see battling for the win at the end on lap 200. Kyler Wynn, Jack Mace, those are really the main guys I think you're going to have to look out for. Mark Person was fast. Obviously, the 89 tonight. David Flanagan was up there for a lot. Aaron Johnson, Jake Sylvia, those guys had speed. Daniel Eberhardt as well. It's going to be an action-packed race tomorrow, but somehow these drivers are going to have to calm it down because how crazy the racing we saw was in these duels, it will not translate, and you will not see many cars finish if that's how it is tomorrow.
Again, you can catch us live here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. 500 miles at Daytona. RaceMRL.com for more details. For everybody at VSpeed to help make this possible, Adam Baker, Kyle Adams in the background, and my co-host Connor Horn, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Daytona. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay tracking, everybody.